Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Namaho Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jayase Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Gauda Bhakta-vrinda Gauda Bhakta-vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna.
Do you have to find it? You have to find it.
There
it is.
Do you remember the name? File name?
I might have put it on the list.
What is
This one.
Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Dhamma, Dham Dhamma, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, and again, everyone. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and again, all together. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Dhamma, Dhamma Dhamma, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Dhamma, Hare Dhamma, Dhamma Dhamma, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
and again, all together.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
And again, all together. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. One more time, all together, everyone. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Dharma
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nevishesha Sunyavadi Haskatya Desitarane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Srivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So this evening we are going to continue our traveling with Narada. He has gone quite quickly, actually, from place to place, and now he has arrived in Dwarka. And he's quite convinced that now he has found the true recipient of the greatest mercy. Noble mother, King Parikshit said to his mother Uttara, after hearing the advice of King Ugrasen, who told Narada that Uddhava was the greatest Yadava. After hearing this advice, Narada became absorbed in the taste of exalted love of God. Forgetting everything, he started off, veena in hand. Having spent much time before in Dwarka, Narada took the familiar roads to the center of the city. As the roads approached the royal quarters, they assumed a bewildering appearance, and they took many unusual turns, making it a road ordinarily impossible for non-residents to follow. Narada came to a palace that he knew how to reach from earlier visits. And under the intense spell of transcendental agitation, he seemed like a person who was haunted by a ghost. Sometimes he tripped and fell to the ground, and sometimes he stood there motionless, and sometimes his body trembled, or he wept in great distress. He sometimes shouted and jumped up and down, and sometimes he sang and danced. That day, Krishna was for some reason disturbed in mind and was asleep in the inner quarters. Uddhava had left him and sat down nearby on a terrace at the edge of the palace. He was joined by Baladev, Devaki, Rohini, the queens of Krishna like Rukmini and Satyabhama, as well as various maidservants and other ladies, including Kamsa's mother, Padmavati, a lady who had the habit of making gossip of Krishna's public and private affairs. All of them sat there silently, in shock. They were dismayed that Krishna was lying in bed, way past the time he normally rose. It was obvious to them that something was seriously wrong, but they couldn't discern exactly what. Nonetheless, they had now to attend to Narada's arrival. Standing up, they brought Narada very carefully to where they could sit him down, and they took a moment to restore him to somewhat closer than normal. And then they spoke to him simply and gently. They said, "Dear Brahmana, we have never seen you behave like this. What is the sudden change in you?" Narada replied, "Please arrange for me to meet Uddhava, the only object of exquisite good fortune. He has received an abundance of our Lord's mercy, never gained by any of the Lord's other servants, in the past and not even now. Because Uddhava is the greatest of all Vaishnavas, the Lord himself calls Uddhava one of his own special expansions. The Supreme Lord's own words tell the abounding glories of Uddhava's good fortune. The Yadava heroes now sing these words in songs. Alas, when those words enter the home of my heart, through the gateway of the ears, they steal away my wealth of sobriety." Impelled by great respect for Narada, Uddhava suddenly stood up and he held Narada's feet and embraced them. Aware of what Narada was thinking, Uddhava remembered many devotees who had received the Lord's special favor. As Uddhava meditated on their love for the Lord and the wealth of their loving ecstasies, he felt distress, thinking himself fallen, and he started to cry helplessly. Only with some effort was he able to regain his composure. Sriman Uddhava said, "O mighty one, all you have just said about me and more is self-evident to me. I knew it was true before you said it, and so did others. But what I saw on my recent trip to Vraj took my pride in my special good fortune and suddenly crushed it into dust. I was swept away in an ocean of ecstasy, thinking myself completely favored by the Lord, a recipient of his most extreme mercy. And since then, I have understood the amazing sweetness of Krishna's mercy, of love for him, and of those who possess that love. But I beseech you, please, curb your eagerness to relish these affairs." It was no secret that Uddhava discovered in Sri Brajadam that the gopis, headed by Srimati Radhika, were much more intimately favored by Krishna than he himself. But in the present company, Uddhava wanted to avoid pursuing these topics. Satyabhama and the other queens of Dwarka who were present there might become displeased to hear the gopis' super excellence described. And Sri Krishna himself, being reminded of the gopis, might be driven into even worse distress. Narada had come to Dwarka just to hear about the recipients of Krishna's greatest mercy, and he was intent upon fulfilling his mission. Uddhava, however, submitted him a humble request to bring his eagerness under control to avoid undesirable consequences. But then Rohini Devī, who had lived long in Gokul and held its residence in high regard, knowing the inner meaning of Uddhava's words, decided to speak. Despite precautions taken by Uddhava, there was no way to stop Krishna's intimate devotees from unintentionally turning their conversation towards the pure devotion of Braj. That the people of Braj had exclusive possession of Krishna's mercy was an essential truth too irresistibly attractive to be kept hidden. Rohini said, "Alas, dear servant of Hari, the residents of Braj have been all but slain. They have lost the last traces of good fortune, and they are drowning in an ocean of gloom. There they suffer, scorched in the flames of an underwater fire. So please, do not destroy my moments of happiness by reminding me of them. Rohini is now living in Dwarka, so she has been able to forget to some extent the extreme misery of the Brajabasis. But now Uddhava is stirring up her memories. When Sri Vasudeva brought me back from Gokul, the distraught cries of Yasoda made even stones shed tears. And the young gopis who had known Krishna's intimate love suffered even more. My sadness drove me to tell Krishna how they were faring. But this, however, did not soften his heart. He did not respond with deep concern. All he did was send Uddhava to deliver a message. Is this your Lord's greatest favor or mercy upon them? When Krishna lived in Raj, so many calamities threatened, from demons like Putana and Keshi, or demigods like Varun or Indra. And to all these dangers, the residents paid no regard, as if entranced. They only wanted to assure Krishna's safety. They never thought about themselves. Yet even so, your Lord did nothing to help them. Upon hearing this, Padmavati, the elderly mother of wicked Kamsa, spoke out, her head shaking, her manner bold, and her judgment spoiled by old age. She was not at all ashamed of being the mother of Krishna's greatest enemy, begotten by the demon Drumila. Padmavati said, just see, since childhood, our Krishna has stayed in that forest full of thorns, guarding cows for these merciless cowherds. They never even gave him shoes. When he was tormented with hunger, he sometimes drank a little milk, and these women punished him by tying him up. They scolded him constantly. And because he was so young, he had no choice but to tolerate all that pain. What does he have to do with these people now? Rohini, the darling of Braj, fully endowed with the gravity of wisdom, ignored Padmavati's remarks and went on speaking. Then he went to Mathura, the capital of the Yadus. He killed so many enemies and became king of the rulers of kings. And now, here in Dwarka, honored by countless demigods, This Lord of yours no longer even thinks about the residents of Braj. Hearing this, Krishna's foremost queen, Rukmini, found these words unbearable, and so she spoke up. "My dear mother," she said, "why are you saying these things? You don't understand the inner feelings of Krishna. His heart is softer than newly churned butter. Hear from me what I have heard. Sometimes at night he speaks in his sleep. Sometimes in a sweet voice he utters names as if calling his cows. Sometimes he calls his girlfriends or his cowherd friends. And sometimes, even while sleeping, he acts as if placing his flute to his mouth, and he assumes an enchanting threefold bending form. While asleep, he says, "Mother, give me some fresh butter." Or he calls out to me, saying, "Oh Radhe, oh Lalite, oh Chandravali, what are you doing?" And sometimes he drenches his pillow with floods of tears. And then he suddenly wakes up, rises from bed, and cries in a pitiful voice, drowning us in an ocean of pain and grief. Last night, he must have seen something in a dream, because today he has been weeping sorrowfully, and he is beside himself with agitation. Now he is lying in bed as if asleep, his cloth pulled over his head. He has not even performed his morning duties. Then temperamental Satyabhama spoke up in jealous anger. She said, "Dear Sri Rukmini, you speak about what he does when he is asleep. But even while he is active and awake, his mind is on something else, as if he were dreaming. We are his wives in name only. His cowherd maidservants are far more dear to him than ourselves." Hearing this, Blessed Baladev, the darling son of Rohini, the intimate friend of Gokul, could not tolerate these words. Angrily, he spoke in response. "Dear ladies, all this is nothing but my brother's clever deception. Although we are intent upon speaking about the misery of the residents of Braj, he is simply cheating us. His apparent distress should not be taken seriously. He obtains pleasure from deceiving others, and he will go to any extreme to create an illusion. He puts on a show of being distracted by memories of Braj. Everything said about the Brajavasi's distress in his separation is true. But he manipulates the facts to create a false appearance that he also feels similarly about them. I stayed there for 2 months and I tried to restore the Brajavasis to normal. But nothing I said or did was of any avail. I tried to console them by assuring them that Krishna was very much afflicted by their separation, and that certainly, in a few days, he would finish killing all the enemies in Mathura and come back home. To relieve their distress, I performed various sports in the Jamuna and constructed new buildings in various places for Krishna's pleasure upon his return. I made hundreds and hundreds of promises to them with great effort, finally consoling them to some slight intent. And then I managed to pull myself away and I hurried back here. I told them that I was going now to Dwarka to bring Krishna personally. Yet even after giving so many assurances, no one wanted to let me leave. And when I returned and anxiously requested, Krishna, please find some excuse to go to your cowherd village just once and save the lives of the people there. From his mouth, he said, certainly I shall go. But in his heart, he thought otherwise. And the truth about a person's mind can be understood not by what they say, but by how they act. Meanwhile, overhearing this conversation, Krishna, who is ruled by love, suddenly got up from bed and came out loudly weeping. His lotus eyes rained floods of tears, and in a voice tormented by compassion, he said, yes, it is true. My heart is made of a solid diamond. It must be so, because it has not yet split in half. I have forgotten about the exceptional love of those who took care of me from the very beginning of my childhood. Be that as it may, I must do something to help them. Brother Uddhava, you know everything. You are the best of my dear friends. Tell me at once what I should do. Please, lift me out of this ocean of distress. Then Devaki spoke up, anticipating that Uddhava would inspire Krishna to leave for Gokul. She interrupted before Uddhava could speak. She suggested to Krishna to placate the Brajabasis in any way other than returning. Then old Padmavati, the Lord's grandmother, fearing that the kingdom was about to be given away, gathered her muddled wits and cleverly feigned a joking spirit. To avert such danger, she tried to create a humorous distraction. She said, "Krishna, why should you lament? Just listen to my advice. While living 11 years in the home of Nandagopa, you two brothers enjoyed various comforts. For that, I swear, my husband will repay Nanda twice over. And if Nanda owes you any payment for tending to his cows, let him pay or not, as he wishes." Although Krishna must have heard these words, he pretended he had not. Knowing very well what was required of him and what the Brajabasis wanted, yet because of concern for his co-wives and family, he appeared unaware of these things. Again, he responded to his own discomfort by asking Uddhava's advice. "O best of learned scholars, you know all the thoughts of the residents of Braj. Please tell me, without delay, what is it that they desire?" By approaching Uddhava for counsel, Krishna was able to free himself of the responsibility for the decision. If Uddhava advises him to go to Vrindavan, no one can stop him. But hearing these words, the despondent Uddhava was taken aback. He sighed briefly, and then, full of remorse, he replied, "The people of Braj don't want anything from you. Not the power, nor the wealth of emperors, nor enjoyment in heaven, nor anything obtainable in this world or the next. They desire nothing except you. Kindly favor me with your attention and think over what I am about to say, and then you act as you see fit." When Nanda returned from Mathura without you, all the Brajabasis saw the jewels and the other gifts that you had sent with them, sent with him. And they all spoke to one another, immersed in an ocean of grief. "Oh, how painful," they cried. "Krishna now thinks that we want such presents from him, and that we deserve only this kind of mercy. Krishna seems to have changed his attitude towards us. Previously, he would never have treated us in such an apparently uncaring way. Therefore, damn our lives and damn the breath that still moves in our throats. And damn Nanda and the cowherd men. They should have left all these things behind and instead brought Krishna himself. Thus the residents of Braj, including your mother, gave up all hope of your return. Already dead, they now refused to eat at all. They began to fast till death, refusing to touch even water. But then, to save their lives, Nanda induced them to believe your parting words. He used logic to prove your words were true. And somehow he placated them. Krishna, to assure his people in Braj, were still holding on to their lives. Nanda, knowing that it was his responsibility to encourage them, pulled them himself out of his depression and reminded the Brajabasis of Krishna's promise. Now, dear Father, you should all return to Vraj. We shall come to see you who suffer separation from us as soon as we have given some happiness to your well-wishing friends. Nanda used this argument to persuade them that Krishna still intended to keep his word. He said, our son is an honest person who always speaks the truth. He has first sent these things as a token of his love, and he is sure to come back quickly as soon as he finishes what he has to do in Mathura. The residents of Braj, Uddhava said, are simple-hearted people, trusting his words, trusting your words, and thinking about your loving affection. They accepted the jewelry and put it on their bodies. And they thought, when Krishna returns, he will see how we have followed his order by accepting the remnants of his enjoyment. And then he will show us special mercy. But you never came. You sent me instead. And when they heard the message you had sent with me, they almost died of disappointment. Seeing them so despondent, I made every effort to keep them alive by promising them that you would surely come back. And then I returned here to attain you. These devotees renounce all enjoyment of the senses and all material shelter. Please ask your elder brother what state they are in now. From dread of the pain of separation from Krishna, the faces of the ladies like Devaki and Rukmini were pale and downcast and full of tears, looking at those women affectionately, gentle-hearted Krishna quickly gestured for an ink pot and paper. Krishna was so shaken by Uddhava's statements that he had been unable to speak. He could make known his desire for paper and pen only by gesturing. He decided to strengthen the faith of his Braj devotees by sending them a letter filled with loving sentiments, written with his own hand. My dear friends, please know that as soon as I settle the duties before me and satisfy my relatives here, I will return. In no time I will be there. Uddhava surmised what Krishna was about to do and was therefore greatly distressed. Knowing the inner hearts of the Brajabasis, he cried and begged Krishna to reconsider his plan. Uddhava said, "Oh Master, please turn your attention to this. Unless your 2 lotus feet make a blessed journey to Vraj, there is no way to assure that your people in Vraj will survive. Those people want nothing but your lotus feet." Then the befuddled mother of Kamsa laughed and shook her head and burst out saying, "Ah, foolish Devaki, now I understand. I understand everything. With the help of this your Uddhava, who the cowherds have long controlled by gifts of milk goods, those cowherds want to bring Krishna back to the forest." Balaram's mother Rohini, Yasoda's dear friend, could no longer tolerate hearing these insults. Angrily, she replied, "Indeed, dear mother of Kamsa, unless these devotees there see him, they cannot stay alive for a single moment. For those who live in Vraj, daytime is like the black night at the end of the universe, and a blink of the eye is like a millennium. In such a state, they look at the sun and trails of dust on the road again and again, and they listen for the sound of his flute." Elderly Padmavati replied, "You, child, are too free with your words. If what you say is true, then why do we hear that the cows and the other animals of Braj are all in danger of dying because no one is taking care of them?" Actually, the cows, bulls, and calves of Braj needed no caretaker. Rather, they needed Krishna. They suffered not from material neglect, but from the ecstasy of separation. They appeared to be in danger of dying, but even that appearance was false, because vipralambra is a cause not of death, but of the highest perfection of life. And the cows were not merely dumb, helpless creatures. Meanwhile, unable to keep his composure, remembering Vraj and understanding his brother's mood, Balaram began crying without any control. But he managed to speak. Why speak only about the cows, dear Krishna? All the animals in Braj, and also the birds, and the trees, and the grass, and the creepers, and the bushes, have all dedicated their lives to you. And now they are all wasting away. And so too are the rivers and the mountains. Some of the people, dear brother, live only on the hope that your promises were true. Better you not ask to hear any more news of this. I can tell you that if you don't show your kindness to them, then Yamaraj will soon show them his. And please hear of still another reason for their sorrow. In Braj, the river Jamuna has turned so dry that she hardly has any water. And Govardhana, who you held up touching the heavens, has now become insignificant. Although the devotees who relish the nectar of your names cannot die of starvation, instead, their end will come by a fire in a great dry forest. Having heard this, Krishna, who is so gentle by nature, tormented by the suffering of others, grasped Balaram by the neck and shed a flood of tears like a person whose life is in ruin. And as he cried with loud sobs in his beautiful voice, the tears washed away the cosmetics from his body. He and Balaram then rolled on the ground and for a moment fully lost consciousness. Seeing the two brothers crying in this unprecedented, lamentable state, all the residents of the inner palace lost control of themselves. Rohini, Uddhava, Devaki, Rukmini, Satyabhama, all of them, they all lost control and began sobbing loudly again and again and again. When all the Yadavas heard the sound of distressing crying coming from the inner palace, a sound never heard before, they all came running, headed by Vasudeva and Ugrasen. The Brahmanas arrived, led by Garga, along with all the other people of the city. And when they saw their beloved master in this extraordinary state, as they had never seen before, they too began to cry, overwhelmed with grief. So, here we leave the palace residence, all crying and lamenting as if they were about to die. there is a great mystery gradually unfolding here in this wonderful, wonderful story. So the day after tomorrow, we will hear more and become more fortunate. So please don't miss out. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
It was intense.
Did you like it? So, did you like it? Yeah. Intense, you liked it. Yes, it gets more intense too. But not so much more intense. I think that's the most intense.
Perhaps because of the lights, you can't see the tears in everyone's eyes in the audience.
I always put the lights so I can't see anybody, so I can pretend I'm alone. I forgot to turn on the music and hardly anyone. Didn't notice.